All right, everyone, welcome back for round 4 of the Adelaide Highlander Challenge, July 2018. I'm Drew Carter, and I'm here with Beckett Wolfe.
Well, a smooth good day, guys, to all of you.
And Beckett, you're on holiday. You're in holiday mode.
Well, technically, yeah. This is the first thing I'm doing with my holidays. It's commentary, so
Nice, good use of commentary.
that's right. I'm in a Hawaiian shirt right now.
And a lay, and all right. So here we've got Ryan Parry on the right versus Luke McGlaughlin on the left. And Ryan's running pretty schmick bug tempo list, Hootie and the BUG Fish, which Sarv put together. I think Ryan's may have made a few adjustments, but he's definitely got the time warp package with regrowth, noxious revival, snappy, and JVP. He's got some good threats there in Hootie, who's Hooting Mandrels, who's seen a lot of play in Legacy, or a bit of play in Legacy recently. Tass, Tombstalker, some big delve threats there, along with Green All Stars, Tarmogoyf and Skoos and stuff. Then he's got some blue glue that keeps it together, some cantrip. Blue glue.
Yeah, that's good.
Blue goo.
You were
Blue
working
glue.
on that.
No, some cantrippy stuff. Some draw spells, and then counter magic and black kind of discard interaction, along with a bit of removal and some hard hitting black planeswalkers, and only a small 20 land count. So we should get good top decks in the mid to late game because of that. What's Luke running on the left?
Luke's got mono. He calls it mono white angels, but don't be fooled. I think he only said that to me just in case we played, and I thought he was actually playing mono white angels. But there are angels in it, and there's the Lyra Dawnbringer in the sideboard. I think the pumps angels, but don't be fooled. It's basically big white. So you might be familiar with like a Death and Taxes white weenie sort of list. It's that idea, but it goes a lot bigger, and it's playing, obviously, sort of Archangel Avacyn, Archangel of the Tithe, Liliana, Linvala, Keeper of Secrets, Elspeth Knight Errant. So it's got, a bit of mass to it. It's basically like a mono-white mid-range. He's got the Stoneforge package, so he's points to Stoneforge, Jit, Clamp. And I'm going to assume Mox Pearl as well. Yes, Mox Pearl to... again, it's not an aggro list, but Mox Pearl's obviously very strong at, getting... He's still got some aggro stuff like Kythian Hero of Akros and Soldier of the Pantheon and Dryad Militant. So he's still got some really aggro draws.
Even Judge's Familiar.
Yeah. And White's got, obviously, when we're in Highlander, we've got enough card selection that I don't see... I'm looking at his list now, and I don't see anything that's really, a bit sketchy, Everything's really good. Everything's very, very playable. Even Mind Sensor, Mirror Crusader, Friction Revoker.
What's Angel of Jubilation? Do you know that one?
Angel of Jubilation is another, classic Highlander card, Drew, so yeah.
All right.
No, I haven't seen it before, but I assume it's strong enough. I'm going to look it up now.
Yeah. It's got the new Blightning. I know he rates that.
I rate Blightning as well. I've heard really good things.
Brightling, sorry.
Yeah. Death and Taxes has been playing it.
Okay.
And just been a real headache to deal with. So, yeah. I'm keen. Let's get down to
the game, yep.
So, Angel of Jubilation is 1 white for a 3/3 flyer. Other non-black creatures you control get +1/+1, and players can't pay life or sack creatures. So, it's just a mid-range angel, basically.
Okay.
It's good. Yeah.
He's got the Angel of Tithes as well, which is similar mana cost. Right, they're looking at their hands now.
Do we know who won the die roll? I believe it was a Luke on the left.
No, I think so, yeah.
So Luke's on the left, Ryan's on the right.
Ryan's got a nice little ring there. Yeah, so you've got the sweet APAC kind of Aussie lands there.
Oh, they're good, aren't they? It's Uluru in the background. Into the misstep. Very nice. So it's exactly what Ryan wants to be doing, is leading off with and he plays Daze, but why has he played Daze into the Plains? I think that might have been a mistake. Maybe they're playing fast and he hadn't fetched at his land and he was trying to shortcut there, but I don't think he's sort of realised
that there was the untapped land there.
Yeah, he's thinking, I've played a 1-drop, my opponent's played a 1-drop to counter it. Now he's tapped out.
But he's got the misstep as well.
But surely you just lead with the misstep and then Daze if Luke... Because Luke... what's Luke going to have Mana Tithe?
Well, he could, but...
Yeah, but I don't... First of all, I don't think he runs it.
He doesn't run it, no.
But even if he did, Woody, any Manatite there, then you just daze afterwards and you get the Manatite. So I think that was a bit of a mistake from Ryan. Hopefully he's not shook from it.
And he's still got his death right at the end of it.
He's got his death right at the end of the day, that's true.
Staring down a skull clamp and a dust bowl. It could do some work later in the game. Another piece of equipment there. Oh, doesn't hit the battlefield.
I like dust bowl. Well, I like the mono white because you get to run.
I don't know if I. Well, you get to run, I suppose, WWW spells. Like
you get to run WWW spells and you get to run WWF spells. No, you get to run like cool lands like dust bowl and stuff that tap for colours and would ruin a mana base in a 3-colour deck. They don't ruin a mana base here. Very nice, clamping the bird. I was going to say he's got a bit too much equipment and he's got not enough gas, but here we go. Yeah, his clamp chain's on. So I think Ryan now probably wants to get a bit of tempo, get in there, rather than... Because he's not going to win the... I don't think he's going to win the late game. I think Luke's late game is better, and I also don't think he's going to win any card advantage now that Clamp's out.
Yeah, and the Mother of Runes is good too in the mid game as well.
Yeah, so Luke's looking pretty solid here. The daze definitely also set Ryan back. Dazing, that's my cat. Dazing, as good as dazing is, you want to be, I think dazing to like protect a shaman is good, but he's missed his land.
Yeah,
drop.
He's
going pretty down here.
Staring down 5 lands on Luke's side.
And I see Spectral Procession in Luke's hand for...
and Batterskull.
And why Spectral Procession? I like that. So Luke's got Spectral Procession, which obviously is very good with Clamp, but I much prefer Batterskull there because Batterskull's a threat. Like, why mill around and get all this card advantage? He can do that next turn. Put the threat down.
And draw cards while you're bashing in.
Start getting some beats in, and then you can fill your hand up. Because what's Luke digging for? He's digging for threat, so why not just play a threat? So I much prefer that play. I think one connection with Batterskull and this game's over, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, what are Luke's options? I mean, he's got kind of... Does he have Diabolic Edict? I was going to say effects like that, but the mum's still there as a kind of sacrificial anode.
That's right, and you could even sack the germ here.
Yeah, because you could re-equip.
Okay, he's not doing that. So again, that's... If I was Ryan, that's even scarier now, because Luke's saying, I don't need mum, I'm just going to keep going. Because Luke could play even slower and say, oh, well, I can get advantage by bouncing Batterskull and replaying it. Doesn't care about it. He just wants the beats, which means his hand is full of gas.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is. Yeah, it is full of gas. So...
it's really potent with both other artifacts on the battlefield.
Yeah, so I think sacking the Batterskull token there is very conservative, and sacking the mum is very aggressive, and the fact that he's gone the aggressive line implies to me that this game's going to be over very soon. So that's +3 off Elspeth, so 7, and then +1 off Clamp, so 8.
Well, if Ryan rips... and he can't use Fatal Push to get out of this. Oh, no, he can. He can Fatal Push the germ, can't he?
But then what?
I know. He's still facing down a lot of card advantage on the left side.
Elspeth equip. He makes a 5/3 every turn.
Well, there he is. He just did have it. So he's kind of got more creatures on board now, but he's still facing down a Planeswalker.
That's right. And he's got Luke's just generating huge amount of card advantage here. He can go Elspeth, make token, equip to Skull, equip to Clamp every turn, make a 5/3 life.
He's got swords. He's elected just to take the 2.
I agree. Grim Flare doesn't deal with this board, so why remove it?
That's interesting, because he had the spare mana to use it as well.
No, I agree with it. Luke doesn't really know what Ryan's on, but he just wants to say, look, all swords, whatever I can't deal with. It's the same as like a counterspell. When someone plays a spell that and it doesn't really like change your clock or change your board, you might as well just let it resolve. And he's saving it up. He's got so much mana here that he doesn't need to be mana efficient at all.
Would you be tempted to use the Dust Bowl here and get rid of the Underground Sea?
Yeah, I'd be tempted.
Although he can
Can't say I wouldn't be tempted.
Although he could, then that would turn on the Deathrite Shaman, at least for one turn, to give him mana.
It's a good point. Although you could Swords the Deathrite Shaman.
Really kind of try and mana score him.
Yeah,
but you need.
I think this is game over at this stage.
He's got a lot of options on Luke's side.
I mean, answer me this honestly. Maybe I'm not thinking of something. Is there any, place where Ryan's ahead? He's not ahead on board. He's not ahead on card advantage. He's not ahead on, ripping some kind of combo or constructing, quality of cards.
Well, he's got more creatures in the battlefield. I gave you an answer.
All right, although his board is still a lot worse.
Yeah.
So I think if you're losing on all fronts and you're not playing like some free win combo,
Bash in for 4. Oh, maybe not.
got him.
Indestructible flying 4/4. Flash.
Yeah, I think that card's really good. I haven't seen it much. I think it's competing with a lot of cards at that mana cost, but yeah, I really like it. And it flips and does 3 to everything.
Would you play it in? There's him a bit late. Would you play it in like a junk list, a mid-rangey kind of junk?
I would.
Curve topper.
I mean, I think Titania's better.
Yeah, well, maybe that's crowding it out.
Titania's just like...
Both Gideons gone to the bin.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? Him's really bad there.
Yeah.
Because
you're behind on board.
You're behind on board, and yeah, I mean, Luke's still got Spectral Precision in his hand, right?
Which is how many cards? It's like 6 cards.
But you play it, so it costs you a card, so 5 cards advantage.
Yeah.
But, yeah. He's paying 1 mana to draw 2 cards a turn with Elspeth. So there's no...
While ticking up.
Yes, and this will...
This is a 9/9 life linking. That's lethal.
Snuff out. Here we go. That's 8 because it's 4.
Oh, sorry,
4,
8.
yeah.
8.
If you equipped to Clamp, that would have been lethal, I think.
What do you think about Snuff Out? I noticed you cut it from your junk list.
I didn't cut it. I never ran it. My junk list started as a combo deck, and then I like slowly turned it to be an aggro junk, and I just forgot about Snuff Out. I'd probably run it.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I've got one of your old lists, and your Snuff Out's in it. Maybe that was Sarv's list.
That was Sarv's list,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. Anyway, so Luke stitched that one up, and they're going to sideboards. Let's think about sideboarding. So you think Snuff Out's good? It's playable?
I think Snuff Out's very good,
okay.
and I think I should probably be running it for that reason. Well, not for that reason, but...
I just noticed also that Luke's got 24 lands, so he's definitely not like just a weenie deck. He's really looking to curve out, which he did do well in that game.
So sideboard for a mono white deck is really interesting because white traditionally has really, really good sideboard cards, although triple coloured decks, while they're less consistent in the main board, have obviously more sideboard options. So, you know, Luke's obviously found a sideboard that he can challenge basically every archetype, but maybe not as strong as he likes. But I'm looking at it, it looks pretty strong.
Why do you have Armageddon in the sideboard?
He's got Armageddon and Ravagers before. I assume it's for control decks. He does have a lot of weenie. Again, we're not saying Luke's weenie, although he's got that aspect. He can go like turn 1 soldier, you know, turn 2 soldier.
So he could maybe take out some big angels and put in Armageddons instead?
Yeah, that's right. And then just like wipe all the lands and tempo someone. So that's what I'm assuming it's for, and also for the lands decks. There's a lot of lands decks. At this tournament, there were, I think, 5 lands players. But
he wouldn't do that plan against Ryan, because Ryan doesn't need a lot of mana.
Well, no, if he knows Ryan's tempo. Grim Flayer was probably a big tell.
He saw a lot of his graveyard as well.
Yeah, he saw Hooting Mandrills. I think Hooting Mandrills is a big tell that it's a tempo deck over a control deck. But obviously Bug is traditionally probably closer to control. So anyway, I'm not sure what he'd be bringing in against tempo. I think his main board's already pretty good. Maybe Baneslayer Angel or something like that.
Moat,
yeah. I like Moat.
Yeah, that's kind of unexpected angle.
Yeah. I like bringing in some of your bigger angels, the lifelinky ones, and a Moat.
All right. And what's Ryan got on his side? Let's have a look.
So Ryan, for this deck, I assume he's got some kind of Seal of Primordial or something like that. Artifact interaction. But Luke's deck's kind of tough to deal with because...
Yeah, would you bring in Null Rod? Or is it too dead? But maybe Trigon Predator instead. That's good.
I really like... Trigon is exactly where you want to be. Trigon is... I think if you could bring in like 3 Trigons, that's what he'd want to do.
Bitter Blossom could be good.
I think Bitter Blossom's very, very good as well.
Fumble.
I think Fumble's good.
Big below out.
I think Strix is good. I think Deluge and Engineered and even Dark Blast.
Dark Blast. He's only got a few 1-drops, hasn't he?
So
I suppose it gets rid of the clamp targets.
Good. I was going to say, I don't really know how to sideboard against Luke because he's got those Dryad Militant aggro spells and he's also got an equipment package and he's also got a like big white package. And I was going to say, like, I'm not sure because you side in all your equipment package and then you just get done by the big white, or you side in your like aggro deck and then you just get done by Lyra Dawnbringer.
So Ryan wants to get ahead here on tempo and start doing some damage whilst countering and removing like big things that are coming down. Luke's trying to get his equipment going with a 0-pointed Steel Shaper's Gift.
Yeah. So this is a big tell for Ryan what he gets. Obviously, if he gets Clamp, it means he's got a handful of cheap creatures, but wants to go into the late game.
There's the Clamp.
Yeah, and if he's got batter skull, it implies that he's got a lot of lands, and if he gets swords, sort of fire ice, I think.
Is he running Jit?
He is running Jit, yeah. I think you'd get Jit over sword pretty much all the time. He might have even sided out sword, potentially.
I think the clamp's probably better when you're on the draw because you might be forced into playing a longer game.
Maybe, although the last thing you want to do is get tempered out and be having to clamp creatures like this instead of blocking with creatures like this, you know? I found against aggro decks, like, I can clamp and get all this value, but then I die with cards in hand to aggro decks.
Okay. Spirit of the Lab's a good one. It stops all the cantrips, but it gets Fatal Push there straight away.
And it's 2 for a 3/1.
Oh, yeah. It's aggressive beater.
It's a classic hate bear, right? I mean, he's also got that, which we didn't really touch on.
Although he counters...
It's another sort of archetype Luke's playing with. He's playing with hate bears.
Can you clamp your own Spirit of the Lab and draw the cards?
Yeah, because he'd be dead, right?
Yeah, okay. So that was interesting. He probably played that out because he wanted to get it killed, like to get his clamp online, although I suppose you can clamp your own Spirit of the Lab if that works.
Yeah, I think he's just putting a threat out, you know, trading cards. Again, I think Luke's going better into the late game. I
like Spirit of the Lab, but I've found in my aggro kind of list it can get blocked too easily by any old 1/1 and it can have counter synergy with some of my own cards like Smuggler's Copter and stuff. I'm not sure if Luke's running Smuggler's Copter.
Okay, Clamp and Selfless Spirit. I like this. Selfless Spirit, basically just another hate berry, 2/1 flyer. You know, I don't think he's like particularly thinks it's good versus Ryan, but he's just a solid flying beater. And it's going to get Luke a bit of value after a swing here, potentially.
Ryan's stuck on mana again. Here you're seeing the difference between a 24 land deck and a 20 land deck.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what kind of hand Ryan kept, because he didn't keep a hand with lands, and he didn't keep a hand with...
Cantrips,
and he didn't keep a hand with counterspells. So what's he got?
He's had removal, yeah, and that's all.
Yeah, and I think I much prefer, again...
Has he kept green cards and not hit the green... Oh, but he could have got a green land.
Time Walk, okay, that's a bad Time Walk.
Yeah, he's desperately looking for land.
That's a shame. But you can see how good Time Walk is. Time Walk's perfect in a deck like this. Like, it's not a control deck. You just get a cheap threat out, like a Goyf, and then Time Walk, and you can do a lot of damage. It's just a shame. I think maybe he missed his green mana.
Yeah, and he's discarding the hand size there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the Time Walk, he can at least get some value out of it later if he gets going with regrowth effects and stuff, but...
You can see he had Swamp and Marsh Flats. So I think maybe he thought he had good mana, but the Marsh Flats can only search either Bayou or Underground, so he's got to choose between green and blue.
He couldn't
get Trop, he couldn't get Trop with his fetch, so...
he's elected to get blue for Time Walk or something else. Yeah, and like look at that Gideon, that's doing a lot of damage. Ryan's already on 8.
Yeah, and Gideon didn't make a creature, he just got in there. And again, same as last game, Luke, instead of spending mana to clamp his Selfless Spirit, just tapped out for Gideon and said, I'm going to kill you soon.
Gideon's really hard to deal with from Ryan's perspective, isn't it? Like,
I think it's very similar to the last game. Ryan didn't have a great hand.
Well, end of turn, so that's going to suppress Ryan's mana even more if he draws a fetch.
That's lethal, right? That's lethal, and I think even Toxic Deluge doesn't get him out of it.
The clamp for the extra damage as well.
That's quick.
Yeah, well, Luke plays quicker all the time, but he also wins quick as well sometimes. Yeah, so there's Ryan's hand. He had Fumble. He was hoping to get a blowout with equipment.
And Lily, I like Lily, and Counterspell, but he didn't have the double blue. Yeah.
Fumble's a funny one against Clamp as well, like because if you're just clamping a 1 toughness guy, there's no chance for you to fumble. Is there if it just dies?
No, I don't.
No, because it just dies straight away.
It can't be equipped and be alive, right?
Yeah.
And Luke's hand was just full of gas. So that's a bit of a shame. I think maybe Ryan could have mulliganed that. You know, it's tough because you don't want to lose the card advantage battle in a deck like this.
And he's probably staring down a deck of a type that he's not used to facing, really. Like, we haven't got a lot of Luke's, that style, kind of mid-rangey
No, we don't.
Stuff.
And you'd probably assume, as I said, that it's white weenie deck when you see mono white.
Yeah, and then you suddenly run into a 4/4 Indestructible Angel.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think Luke's even running... he's running Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, yeah. So, yeah, he's sort of playing with all those...
There you see cyber strategy there. I think he took out a lot of little guys and brought in big guys.
Yeah. There you go.
Interesting.
Because I think the big guys even against a tempo deck, you can assume you're going to get in. Like, you probably will resolve a Baneslayer Angel. You might not. You might be dead the next turn, but the Baneslayer will like block and give lifelink. So I think it's just fast enough against a deck like this.
Yeah, well, he didn't see lots of pressure coming out of the gate from Ryan's side, so he probably assumed he had time. All right, quick one but a good one. All right, that's round 4. We'll move on now to round 5.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah.